Hello everyone, welcome back to Chemistry Chronicles, where we make chemistry simple, engaging, and fun. This is part 8 of learning the basics of chemistry, and our topic for today is acid and bases. First, we will know what is acid and how do we name acids. Compounds that form H plus ions when react with water are acids. Here, the hydrogen acts like a metal and gives away its electron. But all of this has to happen in an aqueous state. As you can see here, HCl or hydrochloric acid in an aqueous state can be parted into H plus and Cl minus ion. When this H plus and Cl minus, when this HCl is reacted with water, the H plus ion of hydrochloric acid reacts with the OH minus of water, and the Cl minus of hydrochloric acid reacts with the H plus of water, and hence produce hydrochloric acid and water again. Another good example is sulfuric acid. When sulfuric acid is broken down, it gives H plus as a cation and HSO4 minus as an anion. This produced HSO4 minus further divides into H plus and SO4 2 minus. By adding everything together, we get 2H plus ion and SO4 2 minus. As both HCl and H2SO4 give away H plus ions, they are acids. Now let's learn how to name acids. There are 3 rules for that. I will try to discuss each rule in detail. We know all ionic compounds have 2 parts, anions and cations. If the anion of a compound ends with IDE, then the name of the acid will be hydro dash. In the dash we will put the first part of the anion and ec acid. Let's have a look at an example. Here HCl has 2 parts, H plus and Cl minus. Cl minus is the anion. If we were to name it like an ionic compound, we would name it hydrogen chloride, because hydrogen is the cation and chlorine is the anion, and we replaced the last 3 letters with IDE. But if we have to name it as an acid, then we have to follow the mentioned rule. That means we will write hydro, in the dash we will write chlor, replace IDE with IC and add acid to it. So we get hydrochloric acid. Now let's discuss the second rule. If the name of an anion ends with ATE, then the name of the acid will be first part of the name of the anion with ic added to it and acid. Let's have a look at an example to make things easier. H3PO4. If we had to name this compound following the usual rules, then we would write the name of the compound as hydrogen phosphate. However, if we have to name it as an acid, then we have to follow the rule mentioned here. The last 3 letters in this case is phosphate. So we will replace the last 3 letters ATE with IC. So the name of the acid will be phosphoric acid. We did not mention hydrogen here, because in this case we do not have to mention hydrogen. We just add IC with the anion and add acid to it. Now let's have a look at the last rule. The last rule says, if an anion of any compound ends with ITE, we will name the acid dash us acid. In the dash we will put the first part of the anion. Let's have a look at an example. Here, if we had to name H2SO3, in the usual manner, we would name it hydrogen sulfide, where hydrogen is the cation and sulfide is its anion. As you can notice, the sulfide ends with ITE. So if we had to name this compound as an acid, we have to replace this ITE with OUS and add acid to it. Also make sure that you're eliminating hydrogen, because when we mention acid, it already means that it has hydrogen ions. We don't have to mention hydrogen separately. So according to the rule, the name of the acid will be sulfurous acid. We put the first half of the anion in the dash, added OUS and acid with it, and this gave us the name sulfurous acid. So if you remember these three simple rules, it will be very easy for you to name any acid. Now these are some problems I will leave for you to solve by using the three rules mentioned here. Don't get scared while writing the formulas of these acids. You can write the formulas using the same rules. Now let's discuss about bases. Unlike acids, bases give away OH- ions when they react with water. Some bases may not give away OH- when they react with water, but remember, most strong bases have OH- as an anion, and this all has to happen in aqueous state. As you can see, NaOH or sodium hydroxide in aqueous state gives away Na plus and OH-. Since it has OH- as an anion, it is a strong base. However, NH3 or ammonia is considered to be a very weak base because it does not directly give away OH- ions. Let's see how to name bases. Note that there are no special names for bases. There are no special ways to identify bases. However, if a base has OH- in its formula, that means it's a strong base. But even if a base does not have OH- as its anion, it can still be a base. Tests like litmus paper test, etc. are used to identify acids and base. Sodium hydroxide, barium hydroxide, etc. are examples of some strong bases. NH3 or ammonia is a very common weak base. As we do not have any special rules to name bases, sometimes you have to memorize the names of some bases. These are some examples which I will leave for you to solve. That was all for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one. Bye.